Do you know, Jane Eyre, where the wicked go after death?
They go to hell.
And what is hell?
Where are you, Ran?
If you don't sit still, you will be tied down.
A pit full of fire.
Should you like to fall into this pit and be burned there forever?
Been about 5 or 6 years doing research in Central America for Sin Nombre, and I think I just wanted to change the scenery, live in Europe for a while, and maybe do a period film. And it just kind of lined up, stars aligned, and I was actually in the UK doing promotions for Sin Nombre, and I found out the BBC had Jane Eyre, and that was like a favorite film of mine as a kid, the Bob Stevens version. So, and I liked the script, and then the producers and writer liked me, and we were making a movie together.
Am I a machine without feelings? Do you think that because I am poor, obscure, plain and little, that I am soulless and heartless? I have as much soul as you and full as much heart. And if God had blessed me with beauty and wealth, I could make it as hard for you to leave me as it is for I to leave you.
We had an amazing cast, so that was really cool. I mean, Michael Fassbender was my first choice for Rochester, and then Mia was my first choice for Jane, and like that worked out perfectly. And then we got like Judi Dench and Jamie Bell and Sally Hawkins and like all these actors that like I was aware of, and many of them really wanted to work with. It was sort of like a dream cast, and I don't say that in the sense of like, you watch a lot of EPKs and people are like, oh yeah, it's amazing, and it's my dream cast, but it really was like my first choice for all these roles. And it's the fun part, I think, of prepping a film when you get to put together all the little pieces, where you're going to shoot, how you're going to shoot it, who's heading what department, who's going to be on screen. I'm lucky to get a really good group of people too. Because another thing when you're making a movie is you don't want to be miserable. You know, you want to get great actors, but you also want fun people, and that was the case here too. I don't really do shot lists and those kind of things, so I knew kind of the basic style I wanted for the film, but I wasn't storyboarding or doing anything like that. It was just like I would the night before, I'd have an overall vision of the film I'd want, but then also the night before shooting, I would kind of like go over the scenes again and be like, okay, I think I want to cover it like this. But because we had such a short, rehearsal time, rehearsals took place on set, so we'd block it out, and then I'd kind of figure out, okay, this is how I want to cover it, and then we'd shoot it. And Adriano, he's used to being handheld and moving, fast and light. In this case, it was like I think it was, we had to be much more disciplined in this film and restrained to cover it the way I wanted to cover it, and not move the camera and keep things just much more, in a way, stately.
Mr. Rochester's visits are always unexpected.
Your gaze is very direct, Miss Anne. Do you think me handsome?
No, sir.
You're afraid of me.
I'm not afraid.
When you make feature films, what's pretty cool is that like as you're shooting, someone's cutting it together, and it's may not be your take, it may not be exactly how you cut it, but you get to see whether a scene's working or not. And it's you can finish a day and think, well, maybe I didn't really get that scene as well as I thought I could have, and then the next day you get a cut of the scene, and you're like, oh, actually, it worked okay.
I was not asleep. I know what I saw.
It must have been half dream, half reality. You transfixed me quite.
What am I to do then?
You rare, unearthly thing. I must have you for my own.
You're so little acquainted with men. Keep him at a distance. Miss Ingram's coming. She's a great favourite of his.
After all this sort of madness, like touring around and like getting the word out about the film, I'm gonna like sit in front of a white wall and stare at it for a while, and then hopefully like some deep thoughts will start coming back to my head. But yeah, I'm just gonna chill out. I have a stack of books I want to read, and I want to get back into photography and messing around with music and stuff like that, and just sort of get inspired again, figure out what I want to do next. I have a few sort of like seeds of stories in my head that I want to write, but I'm not going to write them until like I'm going to sit down and write, because typically when I write in a very short, compressed period of time. I don't write over long periods. I think I just want to see what else is out there. I think next could be a sci-fi or a musical. I mean, who knows? But just mix it up, keep it interesting, because you spend 2 years doing it.
Everything seems unreal.